Hello and welcome to today's live session, New York, with Harmonic Scanner and Pitchforks. Thanks for joining. Nice to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Let's get started. I haven't looked at any new scans. I did this morning. We should have enough to look at anyway. What's that? Scanner trader. That's a bit of a strange shape. Trader's Way, H1, USD, CAD, Shark. Oh, we must have that one. 21st of August. Okay. Right, so let's have a look at GBP USD. There's no red news. So that has come back into that scan now. It's just testing the 15-minute. It is pushing down though again. So it did go. I did mark this up. I didn't get in it. I didn't find the entry there very clean. But it did just under the 20 pips. 17. No, a little bit more. Oh, it did 19 pips. So here we are in New York, and it's just shoveling on down, isn't it? So we have, if it goes past the 15-minute, I haven't really got an entry because I've got no scan below that. It's a bit strange. So I haven't got anything that I can offer on GBP USD unless it decides to come back the other way, which it doesn't look like it's going to at the moment, because it's right under that 62. I'm pretty sure there's no other scan lurking behind. No, they're all switched on in this region. Right, so that's a shame. I'll have to leave that one. I'll put them all on now. Let's come out to the hourly. Oh, I've got one here. Let's just switch up the settings on that. Put it in pink, see where that is. Oh, so it is in a pink one, which is from I have to put it on 4 hourly. Sorry, don't look at all this. That's from back in March time. This pink scan it's in at the moment. So it's done it did a break and a retest, but then it went up on the hour, come under the 62 for a sell. It's now under, just on that outside of, better dim that down, otherwise we'll get confused, of the green pitchfork of our current scan, on the outside of that. So I haven't got an entry now until down here, and that won't be covered on that. That won't be covered on that quarter theory either. And I'll just put a trend line on that. So that's GU, HourGlass. I did have this marked up as well, but I didn't take it myself. I didn't, as I said on the chat, I didn't find the entries very clean, although there was all those breaks and retests there, then a stall out. So yes, I could have got into that, but I didn't. And that went and did about 15, 13 pips. And then it took quite a while. So if that entry was on that candle there, it took 2 hours, 40 minutes, and it only just cleared. It is a slower pair. It only just cleared 16 pips there, and it's still on its way up. This was the shark buy scan. These pink lines were entry 2 and take profit 1. So this is not a trend line here. So I haven't got anything on this at the moment until it comes up to next to that take profit 1, this pink line here, which I'll just show you there, take profit 1, shark. There's the D point down there. So I'm going to mark that up at this level here. Let's just do that, add alert. So that's HourGlass. GN fell off the face of the earth at the moment. Oh, we don't touch this one, do we? We look at it because we can't resist looking at it. But it's extremely fast and it bites you very badly. But the next point to look at it would be down here, where it would ping back into the scan. So I really must close that one down. GJ, GN, GJ, it decided to go for the buy. Again, it took a while because it is a fast pair. So it's coming down now. That quarter theory would cut you just off that 20 though. And that doesn't quite cover you. So a bit of a mixed bag on that one. Let's put a trend line on. So not going down very fast at the moment. Where shall I put the alert? Put it on that trend line and have another look at it if it does do anything. So that's, okay, that's 86 pips. So that's GJ. Euro JPY, nothing. Sorry, wait a minute. Come up to the, it's come up to the, sorry, I don't know why I said that. Must have flipped between something else. It's still on an upward trend, isn't it? Put it like that, or like that. Looks like it might be dropping back. Get rid of that. We'll leave that one for a moment. You see if it comes up there and rejects off and comes back down, or what it does at that point. GCAD. Let's get my tea bag out, my tea. So we're past the median. $50 pips. Let's put that on GCAD. That would just cover us. So we've just got the orange, the 62. Is it just curling back, not wanting to cross? We need it to cross if it's at that point. So we've had quite a big break and a retest there. About 8.4, 14 pips there. Back to the 1 minute trend and the pitchfork under the 62. So we're waiting for it to, we want it to just come down now under that quarter theory and bring that 62 down with it, and we've just done 15 pips. We would just have our, you might want to have it slightly bigger depending on how long that takes to come down. We just have our pitchfork quarter theory and then the 62 all in the red covering us, and I'm going to put, so this might work for us today. So that's GCAD for a potential sell if it meets that criteria we've just discussed. So I'll put sell setup, possibly GA. Did a break and a retest and under. So we missed that. That did that in that sort of consolidation period. But if you notice, it wasn't a very big. This is what I found today. It hasn't had very big breaks and retest. So that was a break and a retest of 6.9, but it is working its way down nicely. So we haven't got, how many pips is that then between the leg? 71. So possible sell. There's an old pitchfork there. GA. So again, I'll put an alert on off the quarter theory because of the size of the pitchfork. Let's see what that does. GAEN. Oh, I did have an alert set here. I've had the orange across the blue for a sell. Big rejection off the pitchfork and quarter theory for the buy. So what was I looking at here? I was looking at a sell earlier on and then a buy. I didn't get anything into anything today. And that's off. That's off 3rd of August. Buy scan. So again, that did a very, very nice move. But the reason I didn't get into that earlier on is I didn't find that break. I didn't find the break and the retest of the pitchfork and the quarter theory. I know it came back to the 15-minute and the 1-minute trend. So maybe that's sufficient. I might submit this one to chance tonight just to confirm that yes, if it does that, then you're safe to get in, because that was a very nice clean move, and that only took, and we do like EN a lot, and that only took an hour and 5 minutes to do 25. It ended up doing 35 pips. Not that you probably would have caught that full move, would have come out somewhere around 25 days target hit. And that, if you got in where that candle, first buy candle on that 1 minute, so say up to that point, that was an hour. Sorry, reading the wrong line. Oh, that was why, because I had it, would have been better down here, and I think I missed it. What time was that then? That was at, oh, it was because it was before the London session, so missed the move there. Otherwise, yes, it did a very nice move off that 15-minute. So I might put that in tonight, I think. Right, so what's it doing now? So it went up in London, 50 pips. It's come down 50 pips, it's rested, it's come back up to that pitchfork. It's come down to this pitchfork with quarter theory underneath. So are we going to get a buy or a sell? Let's put the pivots on this one. So what are the GJ? We'll have a look at that. Pivots consolidation, forming a higher high, 479,502, and a higher low. So it looks like it's rejecting off, and if that curls back off, then have we got a buy? I'll just put this on and then we'll go to GJ. We need it above that. We need the 62 to come above though, because at the moment it's saying sell. So we've got a big break and a retest of the pitchfork saying buy, big break and retest of the pitchfork of the quarter theory saying buy. Nice stall out all the way along it, saying it cannot break through down, but now we just need that 62 to turn in our favor. Quick look at GJ. Okay, so that is coming down. Now with GJ, chance only takes this if it's a perfect setup. So 86 pips. Got the 62 coming down quite nicely. So what other confirmations would we have if we take it off the pitchfork? Whoops. Have we got a break and a retest of that 1 minute trend? If we draw one the other way, well, we haven't got a very long trend line, have we? I can't see a fib. Possibly a channel touch. Clone. Stall out along there. So we'd need it to come back up and retest retest our pitchfork before deciding whether to get in for a sell and have that orange line, the 62, coming down in our favour towards that line, and that would be at 6.6 pips. Break and retest there. EN still stalling off that, which is good. We might have a fib on that. That's stalled off the 88.6 on that fib. That line there. So technically, you can take a trade when it's done that, because it should therefore, as it's done its retrace back, it should now be wanting to come up to that, which would be our, this is how we mark it up when we put a fib on. That's our one, take profit 1, take profit 2, and then take profit 3 up at that zone there. But I must say, I don't usually, I do trade sometimes like that on the outer extensions. If it's on a sell off a fib, I've been quite successful doing that. I haven't done it this way round, and it isn't on outer extensions either. And I have found fibs fail sometimes, so I don't use them all the time. But what I'm saying is, on a sell, I've got in before it's before the 62, for example, has been in the favour. It hasn't come down enough, and it's worked out fine. But I'd rather on this one wait until, I don't know, I've got so many lines going on here, until that 62 curls round, because I don't want us to lose money, obviously. You know what Chance says? Put together a winning trade, then learn how to put together a winning day, then learn how to put together a winning week, then put together a winning month, then put together a winning quarter, and then put together a winning year. So, you know, I'd rather take fewer trades. It's just wicking off that 62 than rush into things because we feel we need to take trades, because we don't need to do that. We get our 25 pips and our daily target, and we'll build very nicely. That's GJ. GJ's just done the break and the retest. We've got the 62 coming down. Didn't quite get the channel touch there. So have we got a third confirmation for this? I haven't got a third one, but Chance usually says if you can see 2, then there's the third. So we've got the pitchfork touch, we've got the break and the retest. It's coming back up to that 62. God, look at that. GBP did that this morning as well, a sudden spike up, if you remember, and it did it on all its pairs. I think it was there, say 11.50. There's some there as well, quite sharp moves. So we definitely don't like the look of that at the moment. We'll have to leave that till it comes down and sets our alert off again. What's the half-hour candle say? Not a huge amount of volume, but it did reject off quarter theory on the half hour, and this one has the lowest point it's reached is below the 62, although it hasn't printed finally. So the fact it's got that very nice rejection off the quarter theory is quite nice. This is the 15-minute. This is the 5-minute. So the engulfing sell candle still just straddling the pitchfork. This has 3 seconds left to go on the 5-minute candle. Let's see where the new one is opening, and that was a long wick off the 62, which is quite nice to see, and then let's come to the 1 minute. So the only thing I don't like, it's up to you, where's the third confirmation, and the whole body of the candle is not below the pitchfork, and it is Monday, and I'm sick of things turning on us. You know, I just don't want things to turn on us and then we lose trades. If we're taking them on my live sessions, I really want to go for just nice quality trades. So I'd rather wait for a candle where the body opens below the pitchfork. And as I say, I can't see, unless someone else can, a third confirmation on here. I haven't quite got that channel touch. We've got it, I suppose we've got it up here with the 62, but we haven't got the 62 crossing. If the 62 are crossed, we'd have the third touch. But at the moment, we've got the pitchfork touch and the break and the retest of 6.9 pips. And of course, it's going to go down now, I suppose, and behave itself and go down all the way to that quarter theory, 17, 18 pips. So this one's up to you. I like GJ, but I'm not a huge fan, because the training from chance is only get into it if he only gets into it if it's the perfect setup. If it's the perfect setup in London, you can get 50 to 60 pips. That's the training I've had from him. We're in New York session. It's London and an Asian session pair. And I'm just trying to win all my trades, not to overtrade and then find that I'm actually not compounding as much as I want to. So I'm trying to be very disciplined. Not trying, I'm going to be very disciplined. That's just stalled off there. But it does look like the 62 is coming down. Oh, look at that spike up. Nightmare. Just curled round. We said it was curling. That's why you magnify it. Has it actually crossed? No, it decided to curl round. GA spiked up. Oh, okay. Then that didn't quite touch, and it's come down, so that's still on its way down. EN is coming above the 62, but we need that 62 to curl round in our favour. As I say, you could have got in if you wanted to off that 88.6. You can see the trend line coming up. But again, I just want to take fewer really good quality trades, and it'd be nice to get my 25 pips today, but we'll see. Just magnify that for you a bit. So that alarm is going to come off, but technically the 62 is still selling, remember. So you've got the fib EN, you've got the fib in your favor here. That's low to high past the present. There's the retrace back. So technically you should be able to get in there. And then you now need the 62 to follow on round, which is why I have put the entry point. So we're still covered on our quarter theory and pitchfork with 15 pips. And how far would that make us off the pitchfork? Oh, that's quite a lot, 9.4. Don't think chance gets in like that. But as I say, it's if you're doing a fib, a buy off the fib, and it is above the 62 now. Just want to see if it's going to reject this 15 minute or if it's going to bust on through. But then that might be, for me, it's a bit too far off the pitchfork. If I was doing this on my own, I might have got in on a live account on a very low lot size, very low, just to see if, you know, it gains confidence, doesn't it, that you've done your fib, it's worked out for you, you know, the basis of your decision making. So, but you haven't bet the house on it. So let's come and look at some other things. Euro ord actually was an entry there, wasn't it? Break and a retest. How many pips? Again, it only did 6.4. Then about 10, 11 minutes of rejections, and then the 62 is coming up. If that gives us another entry, then that's the setup. It's not a very good trend line there at the moment. And it's quite flat, isn't it? That quite flat. Go over some more US session pairs. I was looking for this for a sell. That's bang on 60 with quarter theory trades. That's the scan. So actually we should only, oh, well, no, we can do buys and sells because it's 60 pips per leg. So it hasn't reached the median. So it's, it hasn't really, for such a fast pair, done a huge move, has it, today? Not really done a lot compared to some of that last week. But at the moment, we've got a lot of rejection all the way along here in London. I had an entry there. It couldn't have really got in there, but it didn't really go. And then it tried to do a buy, and it only didn't go 20 pips, and it's a fast pair. So it crossed over in London about 10 o'clock, dropped back down, stalled off quarter theory, hugged along the 62, which is where price will always return. It's nearest to the golden ratio of 61.8. Professional traders use it a lot, and that is why. Back down to quarter theory, rejections off, but again, it's not really taken off yet. So is it going to take off now? So I'm quite keen on this one, but it is moving now. 62 is above the blue, it's crossed above the buy, check, pitchfork, touch, and break and retest with all that stall outs. So I should put a position on this, I think, even if it's, I should have gone in down there really, even if it's on demo. Oh, it hasn't moved that much, has it? I'll do it on demo. I don't feel brave enough with this one. Euro ord. Oh, I'm minus 14. That's from something I was doing earlier. That was only trying it out. Let me do another one. Euro ord. New order. I'll leave it at 0.4. I'll have to shut that other one down though. Otherwise it doubles up. Modify, put your stop loss in at 15 pips. Look at your entry price, 1.64. So as it's a buy, it's going to be something like 500, slightly under. So price 1.64639. 1.64, 1.64489, 64489. Technically that's correct. So we'll just see if that does anything on demo. Right, what else can we, that's not doing anything yet. That's decided to go all the way up there, GCAD, and it didn't give any break and a retest there. GA is coming down, but it didn't give us a break and a retest. It spiked. That is working out. GJ is working out as a move. You've got the that spike up to the 62, but the sell candle straddled there, but it gave us another perfect entry there. So I don't know if anyone was watching that. So there or there, that next green candle, it gave it to you again around 138.653. And that is working its way down. So it might do it as a fast pair, 15 pips, or break the quarter theory. And if it breaks the quarter theory, then there's its next levels. But it isn't a New York pair, that's all. EN. Oh my goodness, look at that. So that broke. Well, it hasn't really broken. It's come back to the 88.6 with a perfect rejection again. I think the markets are not, it's quite wild, isn't it? Because look at this happening in one candle. And I've got no red flag news on Forex news, although I don't look at the other news, the orange news or FX book, my FX book news. So that's in 1 minute done 10 pips. So that's 100 million there, 10 million a pip. So it's still valid, just that's still valid down here, that 88.6 rejection to the pip, but just wicking off that 15-minute. GU still, oh, I've got two GUs open, I do apologize. I'm going to look at something else then. Let's see how our plus 1.4 on the euro ord. So that is working out. Let's open some others. How are we doing for time? Ord USD. Haven't looked at that since this morning. This is the shark. The shark. So it hasn't reached the median, which is up here. Technically the orange is still buying the 62, although it is dipping down, so technically it's buying. It's coming up to this pitchfork. I'm sorry if these pink lines are a little bit confusing. I can't fade them. I don't think I can fade the horizontal rays. Not quite sure how to do that. Oh yes, I can. just so you don't get confused, it's not a trend line or anything. It marks the scanner's take profit level, and this one marks the scanner's entry, so entry number 2. So I had an alert set up here because it was a buy only. That's only 36 pips, so we don't want to take a sell anyway. But I could move, as this has now dropped down, we'd be seeing, technically I should put it that side of the line. We'd be looking for this, a long position off that pitchfork up to that quarter theory at 20 pips, which is just above the scanner's take profit one again. AUD USD slow moving pair, 10 pips. But it's still punching its way down at the moment, and it is a slow pair. I just come out to the 50-minute because I was watching it this morning. So it did give the break and the retest, but the 62 only crossed there. So I could, that was that trend line there. And it did do 20 pips. But the problem with that entry, of course, is, you know, it's a slow pair and that didn't cross until there. So did you have your confirmations? So it's quite a narrow channel. If you were looking for a channel touch back to here, channel touch back to here, not quite back to the pitchfork, but you had breaks and retests there, and you were above the 62. So again, I didn't find that particularly inspiring to get into it this morning. So that's now setting off our alert. But as I say, if it drops down, we don't want to be doing that for a sell. We're not interested in a sell. So let me just move that up a bit, because it hasn't reached the median and it's not that big a, scan. So let's just have a look at something else. I don't think I've done, haven't done CAD JPY. I had that marked up for a buy. It didn't like that at all. It made that move up off the extensions. The 62 was still in buy mode. So next entry was above this pitchfork here, but it has dropped down, right the way down, and I'm pretty sure I don't have, that's my next scan on this one, down here. So I'm going to move that down here at the moment. So that's crossed strongly for the sell, but it's in the middle of the ocean. It needs to sort itself out. And its next major level to hit is quarter theory down here and come back up, or carry on down. Let's see what it's doing on the scan. So it was a sell scan, went all the way to quarter theory. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. I beg your pardon, I put a second pitchfork on because of where price was earlier. And it is now, this scan is this one it needs to come back into, is the current scan. That was me. See, I've got that point in the middle of nowhere, then it's X to A, but I had to do a best fit. It wouldn't line up with either D or C, so I did a best fit. So that's what you're looking at there, and this is the current scan with the green lines. Okay, so that was my second pitchfork, that one you're looking at, but that didn't. It was valid in terms of you can see it's got the touches on it. I was quite happy with the best fit when I went along it. There and there, that's all okay, but it didn't go for the buy anyway. So it's coming down into our current scan, which is good. Settings, let's bring that up. And we've got an alert there. So CAD JPY for a possible sell off that inner Fibonacci, CAD JPY 10. And that would take us down to the current scan. Down here. So that might set up CAD JPY sell trade idea. Just let it see what it does. How are we doing? I was a bit late on. I'll just do one more. Eurocad. Did I look at Eurocad? No, I quite like Eurocad. We'll look at that. Plus 7.1 on Euroord, 7.3. Oh, this is interesting because it's formed that big, like teacup shape, and we do like those shapes. So you see, interestingly, it fell right off that scan. This also is an XA second pitchfork, slightly more advanced. Don't worry about it if you're new, just let it wash over you a bit. You see that big W shape there. So off this, it's out of our current scan. So off this one, come back up there. So let's just have a look at this. So that's Tokyo. Didn't do very much. And then in London, it went for about, what's that, 40 pips or something? 45 pips. Came back to the pitchfork. The orange has crossed above the blue for a buy. We've got the rejection off quarter theory for a buy. We've got the big break and retest, quite a bit too big for my liking. I like it a bit tighter together. That took 11, 12, 11, nearly 2 hours. It's a bit of a big break and retest, but nevertheless, another rejection then above the 62. And it does, I'll just magnify this. It does look like it wants to carry on up. I don't know why I've got that like that. That's wrong. Remove that. So we just want that to come up a bit more for a buy. Long position 20 to 10. And have a look at what the other euros are doing. See what the correlating pairs are doing, because we want things to be, we want that synergy. So we're waiting for a break and a retest back to the pitchfork, the 1 minute trend. We could possibly put that tighter. You've got touches either side. So you want a break and a retest back to that pitchfork and the 1 minute trend, and then taking off. So curling round and getting in when it's curled round, and this has come up and carried on coming up. So there might be something for us there. Oh, I'm going to put a trend line on there. And just catch it on its way back. I'll move it in a minute. How far is that going to come back? And that Eurcad, oh, I've got it too close. So that'd be too big. Just pop that there, but it probably is not going to come back down there. We want it to come down, reject off there, and then our entry would be here as it curls round. So something like that, depending on the size of the break and the retest. So that's everything. Let's just have a quick look back. So that's come back to the 1 minute, and it's just wicking off it, so it's holding. 62 is flattening a bit. So is this another move where it just does the 13 pips? It could well be. That is saying plus 5.7, so it is dropping. Euro NZD, it did hold on the 88.6, but it's dropping back below the 62 again. So quite volatile, isn't it? GJ made the move, did a very nice, that's done 32 pips. So GJ did work out nicely and is still going down. So you can get 50, 60 pips off GJ in, depends how much you want to give up. Because if you've got that break and retest there, then how much is that break and retest? Oh, that's quite a lot, 17 pips giving up there. But could you get in on a quarter theory? Can't remember. Yes, you could potentially. If that you want to see that not leveling off, you want to see the 62 continuing to push price down. If it comes, so you want that coming down nicely, and if that gives you a perfect rejection of the quarter theory, and wait for the sell candle to form with the body preferably below, I can take this off now, below the quarter theory line, then you have got a quarter theory trade because of the 80 pips or whatever it was between the, just double check that, between the pitchfork leg, yeah, 86. So that would bring it down to here. It's just not quite covering your pitchfork, that's all. And what's that doing? See, that's gone to plus 0.3. So I haven't found the markets. There have been some 20-25 pips, but a little bit like the elusive fish. That's still coming down on CAD JPY. AUD USD is working its way up again. GBP USD that's coming down nicely, waiting for the break and the retest. GCAD went the other way, to analyze that later. GA, waiting for that to come down. GJ, see if that will give another entry. And that's everything I've got for today. That didn't quite make the move. So that would have been a difficult one, because we would have been up here and then seen it plummeting probably, and would have been stop profited out, or 5 pips once we saw it coming down. So that was another stop profit one. In fact, I could have taken it on that basis. I think if it's going to carry on like this tomorrow, and the markets may be doing this, because if you look at the news, or rather lack of news, there's no news today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. So the markets have got nothing to hide behind in terms of pushing price up or down with big drops or rises, even if there's no rhyme or reason for it. So they might be like this for Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't know. And then there's red flag news Thursday and Friday. In fact, I don't think I can remember 3 days in a row with no news. So I'm just going to stop sharing. I've gone on for a little bit because I was on a bit late. A little bit in the chat. I have a different pitchfork to you. Missed entry as I went back to bed. Euro NZD. Oh yeah, gosh, that was nice. Different pitchfork. That's interesting. I wonder if I've missed some. So that was at UK time, 7:50. So a very nice trend line there. The pitchfork there, break and retest, we're above quarter theory, and the orange crosses above the blue, and the entry on that very nice full-bodied buy candle as it starts to take off. So break and retest, double stall out, takes off again, doesn't quite retest again, but it is definitely on its way up if you've drawn your 1 minute trend line. So let me just have a look at that. 750, that's been 850. No, I think we've got the same pitchfork. This is an alert line, so we've got the same one, and there's that candle to have got in on, and I missed it as well because I didn't quite read it with confidence in terms of the break and the retest, but I can see it now with the 1 minute trend line that it would have been fine, because I think we have got the same. Oh no, you had two. Did you have two clearer? I'll have to look at it later then. Did you have two clearer? Yes, you've got a pitchfork above the quarter theory. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, I've got the doorbell ringing, so I'm going to stop the recording and